This should be the 2020 Cadillac CTS, a sedan we've known since the 2003 model year. Instead, it's the Cadillac CT5, all new, and yet another new car name to remember. As before, the CT5 competes in a very popular group of compact luxury sedans: 330i, C300, IS300, TLX, Q50, G70. Letters and numbers that by themselves mean nothing. Cadillac sedans mean something. They're pretty. That's obvious. They're fun to drive. They're competitive on price. But they've been inconsistent over the years, both with model names and in quality. So, with arms wide open, let's see if the CT5 can deliver. And while we're at it, let's subscribe to the CarGurus YouTube channel. It's so easy. It's right there. The CT5 looks great. So did the 2019 CTS and the CTS before that one. It's unique and identifiable as a Cadillac. It's got thin vertical lighting that starts at the top of the fenders and traces down to these lower running lights, which double as turn signals. There's a grille shaped like the Cadillac crest, traced in chrome, a low shoulder height, short trunk, and simple vertical taillights. It's clean, and in this paint job, called Red Obsession, the CT5 is candy. This is the premium luxury, the second of 4 trim levels. If you order the Sport or the V, all this chrome trim gets blacked out, you get some bigger wheels, and a small spoiler on the trunk lid. The only thing I dislike about the CT5 are these really small exterior mirrors. And from the outside, they look really good. But when you're inside trying to see out of them, you don't really have much surface area. And that means big blind spots. 5 things to know about the CT5. This is a compact sedan that slots between the CT4 and the CT6. Next year for 2021, there won't be a CT6, so the CT5 will be the biggest sedan the Cadillac makes. It's not that big. 550T has nothing to do with engine displacement or horsepower. It's torque in Newton meters. You can choose a twin turbo V6, a single turbo 4, and rear or all-wheel drive. There are light bars in the door handles. They illuminate with the welcome lighting. It's coronavirus ready. There's an app that lets you order takeout from Applebee's or gas from a gas station, all from the touchscreen. Keep watching, I'll show you that later. The engine you want is what I'm driving. 3-liter twin turbo V6, 335 horsepower, 405 pound-feet of torque. When you put it in sport mode, drop it down a gear. You hear that nice crisp bark there of the transmission. That's the performance shift feature. It activates when you are driving aggressively, and it stays that way. You get that nice sound, and it's just a faster reaction time. It's only available on the V6 models, but the 10-speed automatic transmission is the same for all CT5 models. I also like the sound of that exhaust, but when you really do get on it in sport, let's do it again. It just gets a little artificial because there's some fake sound coming in here. You can turn it off. There's a stealth mode is what they call it, and that does help. Standard on the CT5 is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder with 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. I rented a CT5 while I was out in Las Vegas early this year, and it had the 4-cylinder engine, and on the mountains going to Utah, it felt slow. The steering's pretty precise, especially at high speeds, because those are the speeds where you want the steering to be tracking dead straight, and you want to have some feel. And Cadillac sedans have done a really good job of that over the years. I think the weighting at lower speeds is a little heavy, especially in the sport mode, but you can dial that down in the My Mode setting. That's the custom driving mode that you can set here in the touchscreen. But overall, I like it. I also like the ride and handling balance. This car has the normal suspension tune. They're not adaptive dampers. I think they have a really great balance between really, mitigating the body roll, but also having a plush enough ride. It's excellent. If you order the V, that's what gives you the adaptive dampers with the MagneRide control. That is what GM has done for the last 20 odd years. Again, superb technology. Within milliseconds, the firmness changes and it doesn't compromise the ride quality. And on the sportier models, you really notice the difference. There's also an active rear differential on those cars as well. Plus the V model gives you a little more horsepower, 360 horsepower. Now, this is not the CTS V, the real V models that, really had the performance. The last one had 640 horsepower and could do 200 miles an hour. The CT5V can't go anywhere near that. So even though they call it a V, it's not really a V. Just know it's more like a V Sport, V Plus type of thing. Good car, but not what we used to have. Fuel economy on the CT5 with the V6 and all-wheel drive, it's 18 mpg city, 25 highway, 21 combined. I've been averaging a little over 18 right now, so not great, but again, nice powerful engine. There's a trade-off. I'll take the power every time. But if you do the 4-cylinder with the all-wheel drive, that's 21 city, 31 highway, and 25 combined. Competitive numbers in this segment. Now, some of my colleagues are complaining that the CT5 doesn't feel like the old CTS, that it has lost some of its handling precision, and that might be true, but to be honest, I've been having fun in this Cadillac, and I've been enjoying the ride, so I don't really feel like I'm really lacking on anything. It can be sporty when you want and comfortable when you don't want it to be. I like that. That's the whole point of a luxury car. So I think they've nailed that ride and handling balance perfectly. It's going to fit most buyers. And if you want sporty, then you can get the Sport model or the V. There's 2 more choices. I also like the brake pedal feel. You can adjust that in the driving modes. It's just a nice firm feel, and it's really reassuring every single time. Ready for some disappointment? In the year 2020, GM interiors are still by and far bad. They're a reason why I think many people won't buy a new Cadillac. Sit inside a new BMW, Mercedes, Lincoln, Acura, Genesis, or Hyundai. Yes, even a Sonata that costs half of this $56,000 Cadillac. The CT5 looks and feels like a Chevy Malibu, and I like the Malibu at $26,000, not at $56,000. Cadillac went backwards in time. Instead of using unique screens and switchgear and other design, it just feels like it's cheaper inside here. These knobs, the buttons, the shifter, the way the central screen rests in this swooping dash, even the typefaces make me think I'm in a Buick or a Chevy. The seats are boring looking. There's hardly any contrast stitching. Coarse plastic and leatherette are all over the place, when at this price, other cars like the Genesis G70 have quilted leather. There's just no attention to detail here, nothing special like the exterior. It's like Cadillac ran out of money and inspiration. There's a platinum package which offers a brown semi-aniline leather, but it doesn't do much. The best feature is this thick leather-wrapped steering wheel and magnesium shifter paddles, not plastic. So the design and materials are only adequate. But the usability is good. Plenty of room back here, which I still can't say about the BMW 3 Series. Trunk space is 12 cubic feet. All these buttons on the center stack and console provide quick and easy access to all the everyday features you'd want, like the climate, 360-degree cameras, and automatic parking. Very clear and useful, and the seats will automatically heat or cool depending on the exterior temperature. You can adjust the head-up display over here, so you don't have to use the touchscreen. And when you do, it's fast and really easy. Legibility and icon spacing are excellent. You can also control the touchscreen with this dial down here, or with this secondary knob here. Plus, there are 2 volume knobs, one here and one down here. Seems like they had too many cooks, but overall, it's easy to use. The CT5 has onboard Wi-Fi and auto software updates. There's an app store just like on your phone. It's really easy to browse, install, and open apps. They appear as icons, just like everything else. There's less than a dozen right now, but it's a good start. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard, plus you can sync Amazon Alexa devices in your home. You can transfer your user profile in this car to any other GM car with the system, so your preferences move with you. You can also adjust your privacy settings by the app. No other infotainment system I've tested lets you do that. There's also an app called Marketplace. I thought this was weird a few years ago, but with coronavirus, GM is ahead of the game with contactless purchasing. It works like Apple Wallet or Google Pay in that you can store your credit card for future purchases. But Marketplace can activate a gas pump and pay for the gas from inside the car. It can order food from a handful of chain restaurants and deliver office supplies. Again, it's limited to specific areas and businesses, but the idea couldn't be more relevant. Other cool features. a video recorder that uses the 360-degree cameras to watch your car as it's parked, the video in the rearview mirror, and the seats that vibrate alerts for the parking sensors, blind spot, and standard forward collision alert. Super Cruise, which is a fully automated self-driving system that works on certain marked highways all across the United States, it's not on the CT5, even though this is a brand new vehicle. It's on the outgoing CT6, which is no longer in production, and on the new 21 Escalade. The CT5 starts at $36,895. Like a BMW, lots of fun and luxurious features are optional, so that's why this car costs $56,795 with destination. It's a decent value compared to other 6-cylinder sedans, and yet it's not. I'm torn over the Cadillac CT5. If it just had a better interior, I'd say buy one. But luxury cars should have great interiors, and when Hyundai and Genesis are making them, that's a big problem for Cadillac. But I still like the exterior style, the V6 engine, and all the awesome technology. So what do you think? Would you take a chance on a new Cadillac? Read the full review at CarGurus.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.